didn't set out to be hardened, didn't dream of steel and stone. I just learned the art of armor in a world that overthrew the known. Every setback was a teacher, every loss a closing door. You don't notice when protection turns into something more. I remember being open, laughing easy, speaking free, before the weight of expectation started shaping me. Bills stacked higher than my patience, responsibility like rain. You tell yourself it's temporary, then it carves you permanent pain. Survival as a language, it whispers just endure. But somewhere in the battle, you forget what you were fighting for. I became a different man, trying just to survive. Built my wall so I could stand, but buried what was alive. Traded softness for control, traded truth for pride. Yeah, I changed more than I planned, just trying to survive. I loved a woman who saw through me, said you don't have to be this type. But I called my attention discipline, I called my distance right. I thought providing was affection, thought silence meant I cared. But love needs more than presence, it needs a soul laid bare. I see my younger self sometimes in the way my son looks up, like I'm some kind of hero who's never felt enough. And that's when fear runs through me, not of failing in his eye, but of teaching him the same old lie, that pain is what defines. Maybe strength ain't just endurance, maybe it's release, maybe real survival is choosing inner peace. Maybe being present is braver than command. Maybe being whole is a stronger stand. I became a different man, trying just to survive. But I don't have to stay that way to prove I'm still alive. I can lay the armor down, let the truth inside be more than who I had to be, just to survive. So if my voice sounds lower now, it ain't from weight alone, it's from digging through the rubble of the man I've outgrown. I won't curse the road I walk, or the nights I barely thrive, but I won't lose myself again, just trying to survive. I don't talk much these days. Words feel heavier than stone. Every sentence drags a chain. Every truth stands alone. Born with thunder in my chest, raised where mercy's hard to find. You learn to swallow what you feel, leave the weakness behind. I've buried friends and borrowed soup, watched dirt fall slow and thick. Her mother's crying to the wind, heard silence answer quick. There's a weight that comes with living, when you've seen too much too young. It settles deep behind your ribs, it darkens in your lungs. So when I speak, it comes out low, like a storm too tired to shout. Every word rolls slow and rough, like something carved from doubt. There's gravel in my throat every time I try to hold. Voice like a river running dry, choking on the smoke. I don't sing in silver tones, I bleed in undertones. Yeah, there's gravel in my throat. Loved a woman soft as rain, she tried to warm these hands. Said you don't have to fight the world, you don't have to make a stand. But I was built from iron nights, from backroom deals and broken trust. You can't wash clean a hearted man with tears and midnight dust. I've stared down men with loaded eyes, heard threats without a sound. Sometimes the loudest war you fight is the one that's underground. No medals for surviving, no choir when you endure. Just another sunrise and a pain you can't cure. If redemption calls my name, you better call it deep. I don't answer to the light, I answer from beneath, from the cellar of my bone, from from the echo of regret, from a place where mercy and memory never met. There's gravel in my throat from every truth I never wrote, from every time I bit my tongue, from every bridge of hope I burned. This voice ain't smooth or clean, it's carved from what I've seen. Yeah, there's gravel in my throat. So let the pretty voices shine, let them float above the pain. Mine was forged in darker minds, in thunder, laws, and rain. And when I finally fade to black, let the record show he never sang it sweet, he sang it low. There's a sound that follows footsteps on an empty stretch of road. Not the engine, not the wind, just the weight of what I owe. Every choice I swore was righteous, every bridge I let burn down, comes back in the dead of midnight when there's no one else around. I've been called a steady man, solid as a railroad tie, but still don't mean unbreakable, it just means it won't cry. I learned to keep my voice down low, keep my temper on a chain, but silence builds a pressure that can split a man in pain. You can outrun accusations, you can drown them in a bar, but the past don't need permission, it remembers who you are. Echoes don't apologize, they don't fade with time, they ring inside your ribcage like a church bell out of line. Every word you left unsaid, every truth you compromised, they come back in the dark, 'cause echoes don't apologize. I had a brother once in spirit, we were young and bulletproof, swore we'd never sell our values for convenience dressed as truth. But life gets loud and money talks, and loyalty gets thin. You don't notice when you cross the line till you can't cross back again. I saw him years later with a stranger in the stare. We shook hands like businessmen, like nothing happened there. But I heard it in the silence between hello and goodbye, a crack that never healed right, a fracture we deny. Maybe being strong ain't spotless, maybe being real ain't clean, maybe owning all apologize, they don't ask to be excused. They sit beside your conscience till you finally tell the truth. From every broken promise, from every severed tie, they keep calling out your name, 'cause echoes don't apologize. So tonight I won't outrun them, won't pour them down with rye. I'll let them ring through this old chest till there's nothing left to hide. If peace is facing memory without a compromise, then maybe I'll find freedom where the echo finally dies. I used to think forgiveness was a weakness in disguise, like lowering your weapon in a world of alibis. So I held on to my anger like it proved that I was right, fed it like a furnace through every sleepless night. I kept a list of every wound, every slight, every scar, like justice was a ledger I was meant to guard. But bitterness is heavy, it don't just wound the blade, settles in the keeper till he's barely the same. You can win 100 arguments and still lose who you are. You can guard your heart like prison walls and never see that you're the bar. It was a mercy I denied that hardened me inside. Every grace I wouldn't give, there's something in me that died. I thought strength meant holding on, never letting tears collide. But I was building my own cage with the mercy I denied. There was a brother I stopped calling over pride too small to name, two stubborn men in silence playing different sides of blame. Years rolled on like thunder, we pretended not to care, but distance grows like ivy when nobody tends the prayer. And I heard he'd been struggling, fighting demons I couldn't see, and all the words I could have spoken came crashing back on me. I saw how my righteousness was just fear in better clothes, and how love untended is the first thing that corrodes. Mercy ain't surrender, ain't pretending it's okay. It's choosing not to weaponize the pain from yesterday. It said I was wrong without a seal to hide. It's opening the locked up door you swore you'd keep inside. 'Cause the mercy I denied was the mercy I needed most. The grace I wouldn't offer was the grace that healed the ghost. Now I'm learning to lay down this old defensive pride, 'cause freedom lives beyond the mercy I denied. So if I call you late tonight and my voice is low and wide, it ain't regret alone you'll hear, it's something softer inside. A man unlearning armor, letting truth be his guide, finally finding strength in the mercy he denied. Learn to measure time and highway, white lines cutting through the night. Every mile a quiet confession, every sunrise another fight. Gas station coffee, bitter and honest, like the truth I try to hide. I've been running from my own reflection with nowhere left to ride. Father said, son, don't show you're shaking. The world smells fear like blood. So I buried every doubt I carried, let it drown inside the flood. Build my back from stubborn silence, build my pride from broken plans. Now I stand like an old oak tree, cracked but still it stands. You don't see the weight I'm holding, it don't rattle, it don't shout, but it presses on my chest at night till the air runs out. I'm a man made of miles, of detours and denial, of midnight bargains with my soul, of unfinished trials. Every scar's a map I've drawn, every loss a trial. Yeah, I'm a man made of miles. Loved one's heart in Tennessee, she said I was hard to reach. Too many walls around my heart, too many lessons life could teach. She wanted roots, I only had roads. She wanted truth, I had my pride. You can't build a home on restless ground, no matter how you try. I've tasted fame in small town bars, heard applause like summer rain, but clapping hands don't fix the cracks that echo in your brain. You play your songs, you wear your suit, you bow like you're redeemed, then go back to a lonely room and question what it means. If strength is just enduring, then I've been strong too long. mile. When the road finally takes me and the engine fades to still, let them say I kept on moving by nothing but my will. No silver spoon, no easy trials, just a man made of miles. My father gave me his last name, and the silence thick as stone. Sat across from me at supper, but somehow miles from home. He wore his war behind his eyes, like a coat he never shed. Taught me how to shake a hand, but not the things he never said. I learned early how to listen to the space between the words, how a slammed door in the hallway could speak louder than a curse. We don't pass down gold or silver, we pass down what we hide. And I carried his unspoken fear like a compass locked inside. Every man becomes a mirror if he's brave enough to see. And I saw my father's shadow staring back at me. This inheritance of silence, heavy as a loaded gun. We call it strength, we call it pride, but it weighs 1,000 tons. It lives inside the quiet, in the damage left unspoken. Yeah, this inheritance of silence is how the strong get broken. I loved a woman brave enough to ask me what I feel. She said, you build your heart like a prison, then wonder why it's steel. I tried to give her honesty, but it trembled in my chest. When you're raised to choke on weakness, even love becomes a test. One night I heard my own voice, cold and sharp just like his tone. Saw fear flash across her face, a look I'd always known. And in that quiet after, when the truth cut through the noise, I realized pain's an heirloom passed down from father to boy. But curses lose their power when somebody names a flame, when a man stands in the wreckage and refuses to play the same. So I'm digging through the ruins, through the anger and the blame, trying to build a different ending with the same old name. This inheritance of silence, friends with me tonight. I won't dress my wounds as wisdom, won't confuse my dark with light. I will speak the things that scare me, let the fragile parts be seen. 'Cause breaking generations takes a different kind of me. If I ever have a son and he's sitting at my table, I'll tell him strength is honesty, and tears don't make you unstable. I'll hand him more than survival, more than just defense. I'll give him something stronger than an inheritance of silence. They call me solid as a freight train, steady on a broken track. Said I'll never let the pressure put a fracture in my back. I wore that like a medal, like a title I defend. Didn't know that being unbreakable means you never get to bend. I learned to bite my tongue in anger, learned to swallow down my fear, turned every doubt into a burden I could carry year by year. When the nights got long and empty, when the walls felt paper thin, I told myself that weakness was a battle you don't win. But strength without reflection turns a heart into a stone. You can stand against the world and still be overthrown. Do you know what it costs to be unbreakable? Every tear I never cried, every truth I kept inside, every time I said I'm fine when I wasn't even close. Yeah, that was a prize, that was the cost. I had a brother in all but blood. We built our lives from scratch, swore we'd never fold to pressure, swore no one would see us crack. But I watched him fade in silence, watched him carry more than pride. Turns out pretending you're invincible is just a slower suicide that hit me harder than the winners that we used to curse out loud, harder than the layoffs, harder than the shame I vowed I would never show my children, never let them see what kind of father teaches that breaking isn't free. Maybe being unbreakable isn't something to pursue. Maybe being human is the braver thing to do. Maybe letting people hold you when the weight gets high is stronger than pretending you were never meant to cry. cried. Do you know what it costs to be unbreakable? All the warmth I pushed away, all the nights I couldn't stay present in the room I'm in. 'Cause surviving was the goal, yeah, that was the prize. That was a toll. So I'm setting down the armor, let the cracks show through. If strength is telling truth at last, then that's what I'll do. I don't need to be unbreakable to prove that I'm alive. I just need to be honest to finally survive. I left home with a tank half empty and a heart too full to stay. Sunset bleeding on the dashboard like I knew I'd fade away. Mama's Bible on the backseat, dust already on the page. I was chasing something holy, found a different kind of cage. Worked my hands down to the bone in factories that never sleep. Metal sparks and broken promises stacked like secrets I couldn't keep. Every paycheck felt like mercy, every layoff like a sin. You learn quick in this cold world how the losing always wins. They say a man is what he builds, but what if all he builds just falls? What if strength is just surviving when nobody hears your call? The long road knows my name, every mile, every shame. It's seen me rise, it's seen me crawl, heard my silent scream through it all. I gave my youth to the pouring rain, to pride, to love, to stubborn pain. Yeah, the long road knows my name. Love a girl in Oklahoma, she had heaven in her life, but I carried storms behind me, and she felt the aftermath. She said, you don't know how to rest, you just run from what you feel. I told her stillness scares me more than any wound that doesn't heal. Now I drink with old reflections in a bar off Highway 9. We talk about the men we were, like ghosts we left behind. The jukebox about redemption and regret. I tip the singer with my last few bills for every dream I never met. If I could talk to my younger self, I wouldn't change a thing. Every scar became my compass. Every fall taught me to sing. Not loud, not proud, but low and true, like a blues man passing through. Through grit and grace and quiet blame, yeah, the long road knows my name. And when my boots stop walking, when my breath turns slow and tame, carve it deep into that stone. He walked alone, but he became